case you need. If anybody cannot read the board, which I'm standing in front of, if anybody cannot read the board, I do have printouts. However, I have only a little bit, so I cannot pass them around for everyone. We'll do better next time, but for now, this is what I got. Anybody need them? No? No? Cool. So,
can you say that again? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Sure. I have printouts should you have issues reading the board here. But I only have a little bit, so I cannot pass them around. We can do better next time should we have a need. All right. So I'm just going to read through the extended agenda, and then we will keep it body moving, body grooving. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste my time. I will check for comments, for concerns, for questions, and for comments from our live audience here, or our audience from abroad. We are being recorded, by the way, so if you don't want your face to sit on that side, because that is the camera, it is on. Because there are some audience members that cannot join us in person, but they do want to participate, which is great. Yeah, cool. So, again, I'm Hannah, the facilitator, and we have basically, we're going to start with donations, dues, and waivers with Mike and Sarah. We are going to basically look into a proposal for a forum. We have a list of successes for the year, which Isaac can go into further detail, but we've done stuff this year and it's great. We have elections, which if anybody else, for first time coming, we do have elections this time, so if you want to run for anything, that would be cool. Or if not, you can just see the process and see how it happens, right? Or even vote. Crazy. There is a little bit of logisticking with that I can go into when we get to that menu item or agenda item, but we will get to it when we get to it. We have dumpster day scheduling. I'm assuming for next year. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Should be here. Should be here when she gets here. Yeah. We have community partner news, maybe. We have the 29th Street Community Association coat drive. That's again Isaac. Odette Ramos might be here. She's coming from something else as far as I understand, so she might be here, she might not be. Either way, cool. We have any audience announcements that you all want to bring to the community. That will be the time to do that. There will be any agenda requests for the next meeting, so if you're like, man, I think that we should have a more nuanced conversation about this, that's also the time to do that. And then evaluation at the end. So we have little evaluation papers and stuff. That's cool. There's also other things on the papers that I will get into as well. They're very cool. But yeah, any comments, concerns, questions about the agenda? Cool. Any comments from the abroad? Amazing. Next up.
If people to raise your hand if you haven't filled out the sign-in sheet.
Sorry, I'm on there. Thanks so much.
All right. So next we have donations, dues, and waivers. Mike and Sarah. Sarah? Sarah. Sorry about that.
So I'm a HCA treasurer. Every year, throughout the year, we collect donations. They used to be membership dues, so you can also do that. It's $10 for the membership due, and yeah, it's how we finance the meetings or anything that we need for events that we put on as the community association. So any donations are super valuable. This year we collected about $2,300, which is amazing, but it was largely due to one giant donation that I don't know where it came from off the bat, but it's still super great, so that's a success I want to highlight. But yeah, we have in our pot right now as a treasurer about $1,200, $1,500 left for these kind of expenses for the next year, so we're running a bit low, so donations are always appreciated. And we're going to collect them tonight via Venmo, or we brought a tablet So there's like a donation page and you can just come to the tablet and like fill it out.
And then in addition to that, it's $10 per household for the year, and that gives you voting privileges. Do you want to go into that?
Yep, and so per the bylaws, which were written in 2020, or this last update was in 2020, there's $10 per family per year, and then 2 alternate methods as well. And so we don't want financial ability to be a limiting factor for participation in the organization. So we also have the option of 4 hours of volunteer, 4 hours of volunteer for the neighborhood association as an alternative, and also a letter to the, in the bylaws it says a letter to the president requesting a fees waiver. And so I actually have 3 written letters if somebody wants to fill that out and turn that in when the election process happens later in the meeting.
Yeah, and that's the thing that's also included in our evaluation. So everyone will be turning them in to lower the, like, I'm turning something in, right? It's not a fun feeling, so lower that. And
I was just gonna say, you wanna say like what we spend our money on, I mean,
Yeah, primarily this year it was like food for events. So whether that is like for dumpster day, the meetings, any other fairs that we put on, or just large community events, it's just so that we have stuff, you know, to feed everyone, to give back to the community. But when we put on more or like other activities, we can use it for anything we want. So collectively we can all decide. And it's very nice because as like a community association and as volunteers, we can put in as much as we want or as little as we want. And so when we have these funds, like it's up to all of us how we use them. So if you have a vision, you want to put on a program, you want to put on an event, we have this pot and you can literally just take from the pot to make your vision happen. So the more money we have, the more things we can put on.
And we also have things like printing needs and website needs and things like that.
Yes.
and the space.
Yes, in the space.
Do you have a question?
Can we pay dues today?
You please do.
Yes.
You may.
Yeah.
What's
They-
the Venmo?
I'm sorry?
What is the Venmo?
You can just Venmo me. I'll put my Venmo up there.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Come on over. While she's doing that, any comments, concerns other than what is the Venmo and can we pay today? So she has a Venmo. There will also be a tablet available for you to like put in your little credit card information, all of that. It's done securely through the website.
Or you can just go to the website.
Or you can just go to the website, cut out the middleman, cut out the tablet. But yeah, so I don't think that we have, that works amazing. Any comments, questions from, okay, great. Now we have a proposal for forum by,
Hello, I'm Hannah. I'm other Hannah. So, because of a lot of feedback that we've been getting over the past year about having more opportunities to have discussion about specific topics that continuously come up, and that we don't always have time for that in the meetings, we were thinking about trying a new structure next year where we have periodic forums, maybe biannually or quarterly, based on what everyone is interested in talking about. That feels like it needs a more, direct conversation about. As an example, the Hopkins Private Police has been a contentious topic. The neighborhood has had a lot of conversations about this over the years, but it does seem to keep coming up as an issue, and so that would be proposed as the first forum of this next year. And then also just opening up this space for anyone who has thoughts on other topics that need their own designated time. And then structurally, we were thinking, in order to make sure that everybody has time to speak and, excuse me, this is very spicy.
It is.
I just breathed in some spice. Allowing for everyone to have 3 to 5 minutes to speak. And then once everyone has an opportunity to speak, then anyone who wants to speak a second time, if there's time, can do so. Sorry, I made it.
you made it, you did it, it was great. Any comments or questions on the forum? How do is it like a type of silence?
Good idea.
Good idea?
It's good, yeah, I think it's fair, it's good.
Yeah. We, for those of us that weren't here last meeting, we did have an amount of time spent on Johns Hopkins Police Department. And so I think that, at least for me, Hannah personally, not Hannah the facilitator, I think that'd be cool. That's, cool. General consensus, yes.
Yes, and then also if there are additional topics, so we can start to plan out when these forums will be, knowing that the first one will be Hopkins Private Police. You can come and let me know, and we can start to compile those, or even just email them if you start to think of things.
Sorry, I just had a question. I live in Barclay, south of here, but I'm just curious, like, 'cause we're thinking of similar things. Are you thinking of having it where, like, there's one speaker at a time, or where there's also, like, small group conversations that get documented, like, notes are taken with those as well?
That's a great question, and I think that's kind of up to all of us to decide. Yeah, and very, very early planning of
Okay.
this, so
Cool.
would love to talk to you more about that too. Yeah.
And if anybody else wants to be included on this planning and or any of the things, again, she's here.
Hi.
Talk to her. And her email. Also, there's an email on the website that you can also email, right?
Yeah.
Should you need.
That's what I meant.
Oh,
Email
yes.
that.
Email that email on the website. I think it's president at Harwood Community Association.org.
Mhm.
Wow, I got it in one. All right, any comments, questions, or concerns about that? No. Notes from the abroad? Amazing. Next, we have our list of successes. Isaac, you're up.
Cool. So, I just wanted to, I thought since this is December, and this is the first time being on the board for, I think, all of us, I was gonna just do a quick rundown of, we did manage to do a lot of stuff. I know it sometimes didn't feel like we were doing much, but, 4 successful dumpster days. There was a situation at the beginning of the year where, Barclay Elementary did not have a crossing guard at 28th Street, which was crazy, and we did pressure the city. We can't necessarily take credit. It may have been that the city just moved at their own pace, and we got the replacement crossing guard when they were ready. It may have also been that they gave us an alternate crossing guard rather than simply waiting for the crossing guard to return.
It was
It-
let's be real.
Yeah, I mean, look, my son was going to Barclay at the time, and 28th Street is crazy, as I think everybody knows. 35-mile-an-hour speed limit, and people drive like 50 or more sometimes, and there are like 3rd graders who walk to school by themselves in the morning and home in the afternoon. And the crossing guard broke her shoulder and was just out, and they just didn't replace her for like months. So that was one of the things I think that that was one of the first things we did as a community association with the new tenure. And people called, we wrote emails. I'm very happy with it. They did put in a substitute who was here for like 2.5 months before the other one finally came back. So I think we can take credit for it. Also, the community garden, we got a lot of people who got interested in the community garden based on attendance here. And if you want to do more with the community garden, you can talk to myself or Hannah or Mary Moses over there. We would love to have more people involved always, because people are always busy, and so everybody gives the time they can. Mimi's Liquor Store changed hands. That's the one down on Greenmount, and we had an MOU with the old one about essentially community expectations, and what we were able to do was reach out to them and make sure that the incoming owner signed a similar MOU. So if there are community concerns, we can raise them, and they're obligated to attend to them because they have in writing agreed to do so legally. So
What is an MOU?
a memorandum of agreement. So it's like one step below a binding contract, but it's the next best thing. Stakes get higher with the contract, and they have to be. A lawyer has to write a contract basically, and we're not lawyers, most of them. Also, not just the video streaming of the meetings and the posting of the videos online, but the last few meetings, we've moved to full live streaming, which is great because that means people who are unable to attend can now attend virtually, which I think it's important. Inclusion as a community has always been a priority for this board, and I think that's one of the things we were able to do that made that happen. And especially thanks to Matt, one of our board members. Also, the provision of food at the meetings. Every single meeting we've done has had food. I know people are busy and you're giving your time. And so we want to make sure that you come here, you can be comfortable. And sitting through an hour and a half on an empty stomach is different than sitting on, you know, a couple slices of pizza or, in this case, some really delicious ecumenic. We also had a great potluck with Abel at the last meeting, which went really well. Also, one of the things that seems to have really brought out people, pushed attendance up, is flyering. We do flyering now a week to 2 weeks before every meeting, and that's gotten more people out, and that's been a great mobilization of volunteer work. Not just the board members, but several other folks have stepped up, and it's been really great. And it also has, I think, shown that we have a level of reach that we weren't really using at the beginning, and we learned how to use that more effectively. Support for the 29th Street Community Center, which is great. We rent this space from them for a very reasonable amount of money, and also we have supported their fundraiser each year. We did that this year, and I'll say a couple quick words towards the end about the, oh, it's not on there, but they're doing a coat drive as well this month, but I'll touch on that later. And then the last thing was community buy-in for the mural, which some of you will remember, but also we brought attention to a larger issue, which is what does community buy-in look like? Because we don't want the board to just be a rubber stamp organization, and as much as we love everybody that comes here, we also know that like this isn't everybody in the community, and so this process of talking about what it means for us to provide a letter of support to a community mural project led to a larger conversation about what our expectations and our ideals are for what community support means, rather than us just being a rubber stamp organization. And I think all of that is great, given that we came in without very much knowledge of what we were doing. And I think that takes us directly to the main item tonight, which is the elections, because we want to keep it going.
Wait, all the trees on Greenmount.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes. And unfortunately, Ainsley is not here, but Ainsley spearheaded a number of conversations, and we actually have trees that are going to be going in on Greenmount. I am, so I meant to put that on there, and I didn't. But yeah, they're going to be cutting the tree wells very soon, and then I think they plant in the spring. But right now, they're just figuring out where they're going to be cutting the tree wells on Greenmount, and yeah.
Also, website is updated and
Of
also in the
course.
process undergoing additional
Yeah.
updates, and that's exciting, and so it's not outdated anymore.
Yeah.
Also, board members and in collaboration with Peabody Heights and other partners raised hundreds of dollars for neighbors experiencing fire damage.
Oh, right, yes.
Also,
And then there's also shortcomings. So things like dumpster day has been really good, but it hasn't always shown up where we planned it to. And sometimes the city dropped it off somewhere different. And something to work, things to figure out for next year. But
so like you said, the trees, you said the fire fundraiser, and what was that? Website, right.
Yeah. So next we have elections. Yay! So I'm just gonna go through like specifically this, and then while that's happening, are you going to hand out our little evaluation paper type deal? Cool.
yeah.
So we have, and can I actually also have your description of the board roles as well?
It's not exactly that clear. It's not exactly that. It's maybe easier for me to say.
Okay. Then
But
let's
maybe we
switch,
can go
let's
around
switch.
between board members.
Oh, okay, cool. So we have a description of the board members, starting with president.
Cool. So,
Sorry, just so everyone else can go after this.
definitely. And also, and just also as like a sort of a preamble for for like the board at large, or just like all of the things for what's about to happen. So we're very proud of the past years of HCA work, Harwood Community Association work. Isaac brought a lot of that up. We'd also love more feedback from y'all on this to inform next year's efforts and beyond. Our meetings have been very well attended for a neighborhood of this size. Sorry, I'm reading from the paper, I'm very nervous in groups. Which also, the bar is low for being a person in front of stuff, for being a president or whatever role you want to take out. Hello, welcome. So our meetings have been very well attended for a neighborhood of this size in Baltimore, but one of the most important things to me is to communicate in words and actions that this isn't enough. We aren't in charge of the neighborhood. We're the leadership of a volunteer organization whose responsibility is to build capacity for the whole neighborhood to be in charge of decisions that affect it. We aren't there yet. Let's keep getting closer, and let's keep being honest about how far we still have to go. In my experience, even our mistakes, failures, and obstacles are super useful, and that we've learned a lot, gained new skills, and communicated our progress and limits honestly with the wider association, so we all understand better how this form of civic engagement works or could work. For me, saying we've got this covered when they don't has been the pattern I've observed in nearly every other neighborhood association meeting that I've been to. And we don't do such pretending. Another dead end in many neighborhood associations is presidents or other board members protectively and defensively not letting go of their roles when they are afraid nobody else will fill in those duties, or that the new people will handle things differently or in a different style or make different choices than they did. The prior board didn't suffer from that, thankfully, which allowed a lot of new people to join this year, and it's an extremely exciting process we're in. We also don't suffer from that, and we're not protective of our positions, so we are extremely encouraging folks to step into many of our roles and to be alongside us on the board, or replace some of us on the board. If you have a different vision for how this works than we did, we strongly encourage you to take action and be part of changing how we operate. Join, influence, and keep challenging and critiquing. I'm almost done. So, capacity to make change and to maintain commitment is only as strong as our volunteer efforts and support allow, and more hands make for lighter work. So having a big board and efforts from former board members and the wider membership and other neighbors that don't even live here in this neighborhood have been great, but we can also stand to have even larger participation and membership to magnify our efforts and make our leadership better represent the wider neighborhood. Also, rather than having a top-heavy hierarchy, we spread out what has traditionally been the presidential duties more evenly among the wider board, officer duties spread more evenly among the whole board, and board duties shared with the wider membership, neighbors, former board members, etc. So this belongs to all of us and to those that can't make it on Mondays. So in all those changes and lessons, working with you all to document this is going to be an important personal project for me after my presidential tenure concludes this month.
Good deal. Thank you so much for that. That was incredibly brave and also cool. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
We're gonna miss you, Mike.
So, does somebody want to say a board position?
All right.
We can move on to a different board
Or we
position.
can-
I could be president, or
Yes.
somebody else can talk, and we can go check president.
Why don't you talk about like what your job generally entails?
Sure. So duties of the president include presiding over meetings. In my tenure, I've shifted this to rotating facilitation so that more people can get experience talking, and also so I don't have to wear 3 or 4 different hats at once at meetings. It simplifies procedure, I think. Planning the meetings is another part of the role for president. In my tenure, this has been a group effort with Vice President Isaac and the rest of the board taking this on with me in a major role. I was also extremely hands-on with meeting planning initially and have segued into more of a support role for meeting planning. Signing things. The president and treasurer are the main outward-facing official roles of the neighborhood association, and have some official presence in as far as external organizations are concerned. Miscellaneous leadership stuff. So I prioritize demonstrating and acting on our board's vision, and I've had to step into other duties as stuff fell through the cracks, and likewise, when I've been late or bad at something, others have helped to make sure things get done. Welcoming of criticism, encouraging to all neighbors, things like that are good things in a president. But really make this your own. So some stuff I delegated you can do if you like that task. Likewise, you can take on other forms of this role if you want to. Communication and diplomacy with other partners and groups is a part of being a president. Outreach was also big for me, and to me, this is something for the entire board and for all members to be a big part of, not just something that the officers do. So, yeah, in a nutshell, making sure meetings happen, but also this is a full board / neighborhood association responsibility. So maybe bottom lining, meeting management, or being part of the team of meeting management. But so for me, I see the most important, maybe the only important characteristic of president is to communicate with integrity, be part of the board and membership deliberations, aka attending a good ratio of the meetings, and to give a shit about empowering and welcoming fellow residents.
Good deal. Yeah. That was amazing. That was so cool. All right. Isaac, you're next. Vice President.
Unfortunately, does anybody have a USB-C charger? I did not. Have me charge my laptop. No worries.
No, but I brought my laptop, so if you're
Okay.
device.
It says I've got 45 minutes, so.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm the VP, and I don't think the VP is a clearly defined role. A lot of what I've done is just sort of been the backfill for a range of things. This is, as my notes, really there's only two roles that are really essential in terms of like this as an organization, which is president and treasurer. Like simply to be recognized as a community association, you gotta have a president to sign stuff, and you have to have a treasurer to establish financial integrity. Otherwise, nothing else is taken seriously. So everything else is in flux. And so what I've done is really just tried to like fill in the cracks around what Mike has done really well and what other folks have done really well, and just kind of fill in those other gaps. It's nebulous, and I think that the role of the vice president moving forward, which I'm happy to remain in if nobody else is interested, but if other people are interested, I'm also happy to move to another role in the organization. This is not like I gotta be president, I gotta be treasurer. Like, if you have thought about, I just want to say, if you've thought about being part of this, don't feel like you're competing with anybody. Like, we have secret ballots in case a position is contested. If two people want the same position and they really want it, we can make sure that we do a vote and nobody's gotta, lay their alliances out in public. But everybody is welcome, everybody is encouraged to participate. And so, I came here to talk about the garden, having only attended one other community association meeting last year, and they were doing the elections, and I was up as vice president. So just putting it out there. So yeah, and that's a really precise and definitive explanation of my role in this organization.
Good deal. Treasurer.
Yes, I also second what Isaac said. I came last year just to talk about trees and gardening, and then I just left as the treasurer because at work I wanted experience in project management. So your role as a treasurer, they're it's as big or as small as you want it to be, but the main bullet points that you have to do are approve payment requests. So if a member of the community buys something for a meeting or for the association, you have to be the signatory for the payment reimbursement request sheets, and they go to our fiscal sponsor. So it's basically kind of maintaining the administration and logistics between the association and our fiscal sponsor, who is essentially a bank. Since we're not a nonprofit and since we don't have a bank account, it's a governing body that holds the money for us, and we can only pull and give money with like official forms and signatures and stuff. So last year and for the previous years, it's been the Baltimore Civic Fund, and then this year it's going to be the Waverly Improvement Association. So like if you're good at spreadsheeting and if you just have an interest in money or financing, I would say it's like a really like fun role, interesting role to just be able to like look at the finances of a small like neighborhood organization and try to make a difference in that way. Some things I've done as treasurer are just like go through our transaction reports and kind of like quantify where we're spending, what we're spending, like what is in our pot, like the grants, like what's coming in, what's coming out, and kind of like the percentages so we know like how much we're spending on food or how much we actually have in our pot for the grants. And another thing that's important too, and also this position is not like 4 hours a week, it's like as much as you want or as little as you want. So you could do like 3 hours a month if you want, or like an hour a week. But an important thing with it is just like going through the transaction report, because sometimes like our fiscal sponsor, they do make mistakes. So like we went through our transaction report and they actually like allocated the grant money wrong, and they put some with the lighting grant when it should have gone to the alleyway grant. And so it's just like keeping track of what's going on in our little bank pot. Yeah, and I have found it super interesting, but if anyone wants to step up this year and be a treasurer, I'm super happy to explain the forms in the logistics situation and who our email contacts are and everyone.
Good deal. Secretary.
I'm the secretary. Technically, my role includes taking notes and organizing everything within the Google Drive and sending out reminders. This role in particular, I feel like was really important to be a rotating, well, they're all really important to be rotating roles. It's really easy when you're pigeonholed into one thing, one task that we do all the time, to get burnt out on that. And so it's really nice, and something to speak to what Mike said earlier too. If I'm taking notes at every meeting, then I can never participate. So this, for a great example, tonight Isaac is taking notes, and we regularly switch off within the board and then also take volunteers from the community at large to sometimes take notes. We've done I think a pretty good job this year of spreading out those roles, and so then I can also participate as secretary in other projects. Like I'm headed up flyering a lot of the times, and organize dumpster days sometimes when Savannah wasn't able to, and participated in the Greenmount tree discovery stuff. And so that like really allowed me to be able to step into that on the website too. And I think that if I like maintained all of the like prescribed roles of the secretary, I wouldn't have felt like I could pursue all of those things. So I think that continuing on, the secretary role is what you make of it. If you really just want to organize things, then that is fine too. And then I also wanted to say that we do have a couple board members here that are not here tonight.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was like, are you gonna just say like there are board members that aren't like specific roles, or?
Yes, which I would love, like Savannah, to speak to that,
Yeah.
but also to say that there are a couple that are not here, that, of course, we want board members to come to meetings as much as possible. But like Mara, for instance, always has class on Monday nights and can never come here, but she does so many amazing things for the community.
Yeah.
And so if this.
Drafting languages, preparing flyers, flyering, strategic planning stuff, very crucial to the group.
Yeah, so even if it feels like this is too much of a commitment to come on a Monday night, there are still ways to be super involved.
Well, the next person's going, I'm also gonna be handing these out. So what these are, these are for when we vote in a little bit. These are just sort of to say whether, to sort of fill out if you want a waiver for the fees for voting and or to clarify what other thing, whether you've paid the dues or whether you've done volunteer work or somebody in your household has. And also on the back of them is an evaluation form for later. So everyone will be turning these in at the end. We'd really love to hear from everyone about how today's meeting goes and also how the year went and how you all want to be involved. So those are just being passed around all the voices.
And then we do actually also have members of the community that are on the board.
Arthur?
Are there any of them?
I'm on board.
Well, there's that one, and Savannah. Both of them. Yeah, they're both here. And also others as well that do essential work for our community, but that aren't on specific roles. Typically, they have things that they focus on. So I know yours is like dumpster days, right?
Well,
And also other things as well.
Yeah, I should also say, so I'm also our community liaison to Charles Village Community Benefits District. Yvonne is the other one, but of course, like, there are days like she's in Dubai right now, so there are times like we will probably miss meetings. Most of that is on Zoom, but I'm sure we could, I'm staying on in that role, so like, but if other people have an interest, let me.
Yeah, which is also a great way to get to know, join community associations and to make sure that our work overlaps, because we do, physically, geographically, and emotionally.
And do you have any notes to say about?
Yeah, I became a board member for two reasons. One, I just wanted to be engaged in some new way, and it was a really low barrier for entry. And two, I had a specific set of skills that didn't exist in the board, so that's what I offered. And as far as my experience, it's been a real I can do this, and it's okay, do that, and it's a very comfortable fit, and I'm sure there are many versions of that for all sorts of folks.
Good deal.
The end.
Amazing. Thank you. All right. So we have, I know we have a list of people who are stepping down, or are we
I know that Ainsley will probably not be continuing on the board.
Mara also.
Mara also. Yvonne has been a member of the board, but she also just participates because she cares, she's a community member, she is a big portion of our institutional knowledge, and so, I think her status on the board, or the role she fills in the board will probably, I don't know if she's gonna be formally or informally on the board, her role will continue because she's affiliated with this institution, because she cares about the community, and because she's a friend of ours now.
I think she's not even technically a board member.
Yeah, I don't think she's, but she functions as a board member.
Exactly, yeah.
She's come to board member meetings, and that's another thing, is even if you're not a board member, we are always open to having non-board members show up to board member meetings. If you wanna help, if you wanna volunteer, that's a great way to show that you're willing to. I think, Mike, what's your,
I'll bring this up. Yeah, I'll answer your question, kind of other people might have the same question.
Mike, like I said, I'm happy to continue in the VP role unless other people are interested. Mike, are you?
So I'm not running for president this year. I think one of the things a lot of neighborhood associations, sometimes have the same president for year after year after year. And so I will be remaining in a support role, but not as president.
all right? Is that for everyone?
So also, some people might have questions if this is your first meeting, or you're not sure if you can participate in the vote or the form. We'd love to have your evaluation feedback anyway. And also so go ahead and
Fill it out.
fill it out. Yeah, fill it out, and if there's if there's extraneous stuff, write a blurb about it. But really, we're trying to find more ways for more people to be involved. we're not looking for ways to exclude people from participating. So
We want your.
we care more about engagement than we do. We're not particularly worried about more people participating in the election.
I mean, look, this is the people, right? It's not like it's going to be like, oh no, we have so many votes, we can't count. These are the people. So do it if you want, please. Good deal?
Can we also say, if there is anyone
Oh,
tuning
yes.
in on the live stream who wants to run for any position, that they can drop that in the comments?
Is there any comments that I've missed thus far, or no?
Not yet.
Okay.
How many people are on
One.
Cool. All right. And then we have, while y'all are filling this out, we do have a couple of interested candidates who can announce themselves. Maybe.
Well, hi everybody. My name is Christian. I currently live on 27th. I would like to run for a regular board seat. I don't have very much of an agenda, more so I have kind of like pet projects interests. I was kind of like a volunteer part of the lighting project, and I would like to kind of be more involved and be an official part of kind of working on that and expanding on it, and well, finishing the work we started, and actually turning some of them on. And
Amazing.
right, cool. And possibly expanding the lighting and engaging interest for kind of further lighting projects, whether in alleyways or on front streets as well. And the other part is crazy that I didn't even know the tree law thing, trees. Also, my other kind of agenda item is trees and Harwood. Including, but I guess not limited to, making sure that our current trees stay healthy, addressing any kind of like, well, brainstorming with anybody who wants to see how we can address some pest issues, and also working to fill empty tree wells, primarily. So yeah, again, my name's Christian, and I would love to support.
What is something about you that's not related to the HCA? Favorite food? What's your 9 to 5 look like? What are your opinions on titles? Sorry.
Well, my heraldry is, no. I'm actually I work for, I work for the Baltimore City Health Department. I currently run a cool grant program where we work on addressing social determinants of health in Baltimore, and it's the first of its kind in the health department history, and we're very happy about it.
That's really cool.
So, you know, any organizations that want small grants, send them to us.
Will do. Keep it in mind. Anybody else? Any others? I am also running for board. I do not want to be in a set position, mostly because time. But I have one really big thing, and that's the garden. I really like the community garden, and I want to continue it. In fact, I want to try to figure that out. And I think that it's important, like just for community outreach purposes as well. That's what other communities know us for. Oh, you're the one with the garden, right? Yes, that's us. And so like making sure that we have money for like the Farm Alliance, because we are technically big enough to be considered a farm, and making sure that we have money to continue our membership in it. We get seedlings, we get, help with, whatever else. It's great, but also that costs money. Working with other community members. You have yours across the street. That's amazing. I love that. But also, some roadblocks have been put into place for that. And so community outreach with that, and also helping out and figuring that out. Also, like, a lot of the community members that necessarily aren't here do benefit from the garden. It's a useful and direct way that we can support our neighbors, and I find it extremely important. And so that's my main thing. I live on the 300 block of Whitridge, off of like in between Barclay and Guilford. And then, yeah, I work in healthcare also. I am a lab technician, so if you get blood drawn at Union Memorial during the day, maybe it's me. But also maybe not. Don't count me. It depends on where I am. Yeah. Cool, that's about it for me. Is anybody else? Yes?
My name's Adam Sikovny. I'm interested in an at-large board position too. And I moved to the 400 block of Whitridge back in spring, in April.
Nice.
I've been to a few of these. My interest is in part the community garden, also trees. I've been going to tree keeper classes at the city. But also I've been participating in the flyering, and I really like how the community association is really trying to draw out people in the community, more participation, how it's often mentioned at the meeting, like this doesn't represent everybody, and it's really focused on trying to elicit more feedback and get more participation. So yeah, and a little bit more about me. Like I said, moved in the spring. I also work in healthcare, in telehealth.
Wow!
Yeah, so computer engineering. That sort of thing.
Oh, that's crazy.
It's like Baltimore's known for its health.
How
Are
many
there like
institutions?
notable medical institutions in North
I
Carolina?
don't know. I could not tell you.
Some sort of center of gravity,
Something. Alright. Keep
holes
it.
in the levers of the city's engines of the wants it
Really
government.
wants it to
Don't say too much. Alright, anybody else? Anybody?
I guess I'm totally down to keep doing what I'm doing over here with the live streams. And it happens to be at the board meetings to talk about setting them up, so running for this chair over here.
Heck.
My name's Matt,
You just won.
and I do video production.
Amazing. You too. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm very happy to step down as treasurer if anyone wants to step in, or I'm happy to continue on.
Same.
Awesome.
Okay. Alright. Cool. So.
One of you may have to change your names. Or-
Listen, there's another Hannah Young that lives in my basement.
Oh, God. Put me as Marie. That's my middle name. It's fine.
And I don't wanna talk over anybody's, I do wanna say like, again, like, every single person on this board came in not having worked on this board. We learned a tremendous amount. We had a little bit of involvement from previous board members, but based on just what people have said tonight, the number of board members who will be staying on is much more significant, which means the learning curve is shallower, which means we know what we did to do right this year, which means we know also what our timelines are for next year. I think everything will be easier in that regard. If anybody has any concerns about that, like, I feel so much more prepared for next year. And I think that gives us also a lot of flexibility to do more, and that instead of just trying to learn like what we're supposed to be doing and how to do it.
I was just curious how often y'all meet.
Once a month for this guy, and then a separate meeting for board meeting.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
about every, we try to do about 2 weeks beforehand, just in case there's anything that takes a little extra preparation.
And then also if you're involved with like other side projects, then
Yeah.
those will have smaller meetings.
Yeah, so you assume, 2 hours for the monthly meeting, another hour and a half for the board meeting. And then duties beyond that really depend on what you wanna make your thing, and like how much you wanna put into it. And that will also probably change with the seasons.
Alright.
And then I'm happy to run as a board member at large.
Good deal, good deal. So the only, one that is currently unfilled, if my calculations are correct, is the president. Which, my guy, you're the only person who has said, hey, hey, I want to be on a stated board position.
No, general board.
Oh, general
General
board, never
board,
mind,
general
never
board.
mind, never mind. I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry.
I'm literally
Doors
voting
right
for
here.
anyone else.
Everyone, legitimately, the three
It's
new
like, oh,
people?
what lead is it?
Anyone else?
Are there any other, anybody else who's interested?
I know, I'm
I'm so sorry.
No, I don't get to do that.
Also, folks interested in other board participation?
No?
Also, if anybody else that's been on the board and wants to stay on the board, wants to run for president, also knowing that it's a distributed role and it's not on all on your shoulders, feel free to also opt in.
We got figured this out.
Question.
Yes.
Do I be a dues paying member to be on the board?
You have to be a member. Membership does not specifically entail dues paying, there are other
Yeah,
ways to be
you
a
can
member.
fill this out.
Yeah.
It'll be more than 4 hours of volunteer time, so
Yeah.
I think it automatically qualifies a person that lives or operates heavily in Harwood as a potential.
Okay, yeah, I think I've done that.
Yeah. The garden, maybe. Maybe those. Cool. Alright, what time is it?
Does that imply that you are also
I'm thinking
putting
about it.
yourself forth
Yeah,
as a
just being
potential?
just general.
A board member?
So we gonna draw straws or?
Yeah, legitimately, like, we gotta, it is.
I don't know, it seems like the vice president is getting a promotion.
Like, can you speak to how much more, like, how much time is required each week?
So also, it varies widely. So different presidents and so some neighborhood association presidents don't spend that much time on it, others spend a huge amount of time on it. I spent a huge amount of time early on and then tapered off massively and have been less hands-on in like late summer and stuff. So it's really, I mean, it's I think being an active part of board and meeting deliberations is the one thing that's necessary. Which I'm so attending / being in communication with that process. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's the neighborhood is in charge, not a particular person, and somebody that's willing to be the face of that / communicating honestly with how things are progressing is the, so there isn't a specific hour amount that's necessary, and in fact, in some ways, we've been trying to set things up in the last year so that it is less required for somebody to self-sacrifice massively in order to be part of the civic process.
The other thing I will say, and this is just based on how this kind of dynamic that Mike and I have kind of set up, the president is the face of the community association. And regardless of how flat of a system we have, other organizations that interact with us, they want to know who the face is. And so that's really one of the most important things about having a face. And so being able to do that, which is actually more about that than it is about like the time commitment. Like I can put time in, but I can't put time in at normal times of day. And so that's, you know, that's one of the reasons why, like, I think Mike and I have had a really good dynamic is because we've been able to really sort of balance the responsibilities between the two of us. So I'll just put that out there.
I just want to offer an observation because, like, we're new in Barclay and Gaucho organizing now, and we don't have officers yet, but, like, we don't necessarily know if we ever will. But I think actually, like, with people wanting a point person, like a face, it also relates to the fact that people are used to, like, these little fiefdoms where one person speaks for a neighborhood. And I'm just gonna put it out there, I don't think it has to be that way, like, you can have liaisons for different people, like the way you said Savannah is the liaison for the CVD, right, the benefits district, like, you can have it be different people for different things, cause that could be exhausting for like one person to be having to like represent the board with everybody, so you don't always have to give people what they want, just gonna put that out there.
Can we move our fiefdoms or no? Can we put them together or no?
I mean, we can be like collaborating. I mean,
Okay.
we're right south of y'all,
Really?
25th. Like Barclays is like below 25th. It's very close. So.
That's true. It's
So voting for no president.
We can also,
That's
with
Kyle.
community support, probably like resolve this within the board. If we can't settle on a president tonight, we can figure out who's gonna.
I was just gonna say, undoubtedly there's some people who couldn't make it tonight. I mean, just soliciting for needs to be resolved by the next meeting or at the next meeting or something. You might get a volunteer over the next month.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, but I just wanna say that for that to happen, like, we would either want to make a space for that to be confirmed next month, or sort of generally empower the board to handle that, because I don't know if the bylaws actually say that the board can select the president in the absence of a president.
But the board could come up with a proposal for next meeting. And so one thing would be, the first board meeting of the next year could include an item to discuss how to adapt and handle the vacancy temporarily or in the longer term. So like, yeah, the board, can meet and come up with a proposal to bring to the community next time. That'd be my proposal.
I also want to mention that we forgot to go around and say our names, like introduce ourselves. Didn't we forget that? 'Cause okay.
We did.
We could also just put our names in a hat and then choose a president.
Oh man, I love that so much.
We literally could, and anyone wants to participate in that, and just like, okay, like maybe I have 4 hours a month.
That sounds
We
exciting.
could just put our names in a hat and then pick someone. But you don't have to put your name in the hat if you don't have those like 4 hours a month. You could do that. And since it's such like a position that is gonna be spread across 4 people, you could do that.
That's awesome. I could even bring this.
I don't know.
Alright, guys.
Because I feel like equally everyone wants to be president.
Yeah, we do only have 20 minutes.
Yeah, we have like 20 minutes left, and we have more things, after this. So, show of hands to put the president, let the board figure out how to deal with the whole president vacancy situation.
And bring a
And bring it
proposal
back.
forth.
Bring a proposal forth, not removing power from the people, but more so lengthening the deadline, since it seems like we're not going to get this wrapped up. You just raise your hand. Good deal, good deal, good deal. Okay, alright. Somebody who's not me, does that seem good?
I think we've got a very clear
Majority.
majority.
Amazing. I didn't know this.
What do bylaws say, majority or unanimous?
The bylaws, it's not unanimous in the bylaws, no.
Then, that's it.
We brought 2 copies of the bylaws, so if you want to flip through it, you can look for it too.
Alright.
Does this mean that for the next month, current board members are still board members and new board members are still are now board
No,
That was
this-
for the president.
That was only
Okay.
for the vacancy in the president,
Got it.
because we're not gonna resolve that
Right, okay.
right now. I don't
Current
think.
president stay on until we get a president? No.
I think that's, I know, no, but Mike
I mean,
can speak to it.
I would tolerate that, but I would recommend us empowering because of the unanimity of the, how do I put this? I'm part of the wider board, so I will be involved in this deliberation process with, about choosing.
It needs to be figured out. That we all know it needs to be figured out. but it seems to me, and it seems for, as a facilitator, we gotta keep on moving and grooving because I respect my time and I respect yours. And presidents can be figured out. Cool. Vice President, we've got Isaac running.
Somebody has to second
A second.
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 Cool. Second. Cool. All right. Show of hands. Second. Show of hands for Isaac. Yeah. Amazing. Cool. Secretary. We've got Ms. Hannah.
What? No.
Oh,
yes, that's
second.
me. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Okay. Who's seconding?
Second.
Second. Cool. All right. Raise of hands for. All right. Amazing.
All
All right. Treasurer. We have Sarah. Who's seconding?
But we should
Anybody?
also say, does anybody else want this?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we don't want people to feel like these are competitive positions.
They're not. I'm just moving quickly because I feel rushed.
So,
Sorry.
let's not rush that.
Sorry.
No,
No, it's great.
Yeah, it's fine. Okay, cool. All right, let's redo this. Vice President, does anybody else want it? Cool. Isaac. Yeah, okay.
I was just saying, we don't need to like.
Keep, okay, cool. All
we can
right.
take our time.
Secretary, does anybody want it? No, okay. Incumbent? We've already, yeah, okay, cool. Treasurer, does anybody want it? Okay, cool. Seconds, anybody for Sarah?
Second.
Seconds. Amazing. All right, show of hands for, cool, amazing, okay. And then, is that all the stage roles besides president? Amazing, okay.
Savannah, are we?
Or community liaison.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Community liaison, does anybody else want to do that? No? Amazing. Seconds for community. Second, amazing. All right, show of hands. Good deal. I know your faces. I'm bad with names, so I'm just going to point. Hello.
Hi, Christian. My name is Christian.
Christian. Again, it's a, yeah.
It takes me 4 times.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, so at-large members, we've got you, got me, got this person whose name I'm so sorry. I promise English is my first language, but it's not coming to me well tonight. I did leadership and we got Matt as well. Do we want to do this all at once, or should we do it like?
I think
That's
it's
fine.
fine.
Okay.
Does anybody else want it?
Anybody else
To-
want it?
To be on the board?
If you want it,
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yay! Down on my team.
Did it.
What's your name?
Phil.
Shall we
Okay,
write
that's
these
Phil.
names up?
Yeah. Somebody's good.
All right.
I'm kind of big struggler. I'm so sorry, guys.
Facilitation is a trying role.
As much an art as it is a science.
Yes.
Is that how you spell your name?
Nope. But you can just keep on moving.
Let's do it again at times two.
There's no limit on the number.
No, it's not. And everyone wants to do it.
So,
And we have another.
Oh, we do?
why don't you just introduce yourself, say what you're interested in, say something that's unrelated to the board.
Hi, I'm Maggie. I live on the 300 block of Ilchester, and I'll just use general board. And in my regular life, I do operations and finance stuff, so I can't help you with that.
Cool.
is everybody?
Seconded.
Seconded. Okay, cool. All right, is anybody else who wants to run for that large positions? All right, we're gonna just all vote on, I guess this is kind of like a marriage thing, where like, speak now or forever hold your peace if you know what's on the board.
Maybe we do a raise of hands for any concerns of any of the board members.
Oh, yeah,
Can we do it
and
that way?
let's-
Or the process.
or the process.
This is
So
rigged.
I'm trying my best.
She's a spy from Barclay, don't trust her. She's gonna disrupt the proceedings.
Alright,
Yeah, so any
any
concerns?
concerns, comments?
I have a comment, like, I think it'd be interesting if any member had the ability to like nominate someone for a position.
I think that would definitely be an interesting thought.
Like they could accept or reject.
No. I mean, I can't do this in the community. I can say only for myself. Terrifying. Because I know I am capable, but also I've got a lot of hands in a lot of different pots, buddy.
Also, you were one of the people that was nominated, by the way.
Oh, that-
So I had a little backlog of people that, if they hadn't stepped in, were nominated by multiple people. So, just FYI.
Somebody
Nominate
did
Mike.
talk to me
For
when
president.
they were like, have you ever thought about this? And that's why I'm here, but, it's fine. So, okay, any more, no concerns about this though? Okay, alright, we're gonna vote on all of the at-large. Yes? Amazing. Yes. We're done. Moving on. We got like 10 minutes, I think, right? We're gonna make this super quick. Dumpster day. I don't know who's doing that, but it's not me.
That's me. I need to call 311 to set up our dumpster days for next year. We get 4 of them every year. We tried to do like a resource fair at the first one last year. Gonna hopefully try to do more of that this coming year. Have some more activities around that just because it's like a good time to like meet neighbors and have other community groups be there. Maybe our civil councilwoman could be there, maybe, if you have time. That it gets scheduled generally the end of the year, so I just would call 311. So hopefully we'll get them on Saturdays, depending if people have a preference. I was thinking Sunday, but a lot of people point out that we have quite a few neighbors who will probably be going to church, I guess, so.
Also, I think we've discussed this elsewhere, but touch base with CBCBD because they also do dumpster days.
I already touched
Oh,
base
you
with
did,
them,
okay.
yeah,
You're
but they go based on what we do.
Oh. Oh. Cool.
Very helpful.
Just as a note, just looking at the next year in terms of like gardening and stuff, it's supposed to be like a doozy with the snow. So, yeah.
Our first one is generally in March, so we'll probably.
Oh, good. I was thinking like the first quarter of next year would be like January, and I'm like,
Try to leave them in the okay weather.
oh, yeah, that's good. That's good. Cool. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, but also if people are interested to help do more organizing around that, also please feel free to contact.
It can be very fun.
It can be, yes.
I mean, I like volunteered for that. It was me and my friend. We were like,
Count how many TVs come in.
Oh,
You
yeah.
make bets, you take a shot every time someone brings a,
Nobody asks what's in your coffee cup.
No.
You bring a little thermos.
Is this what you bring to the meeting, Barclay?
Okay, community partner news. We have a couple of community partners here in Subi, or is that Isaac?
Well, the only one that I have is the 29th Street Community Association Code Drive. Yvonne reached out to me and Maya reached out to me. There are a couple families that get on the list. They have like a list of, it's not just a code drive, it's like it's a code drive plus extra stuff, shoes, some Christmas present type stuff. The community association traditionally donates to that. I haven't had a chance to, I got an email about this earlier today, so I haven't had a chance to put this out with the board, but we'll figure out like what a reasonable, I also don't know what the need is yet, but we'll look at what the need is and what's traditionally been done in the past. But do check the website for the community association because they do have more information if you want to help with that individually. And this community association is a tremendous resource. They're great. We wouldn't really have an easy place to meet if they weren't here, and they're always accommodating. And so,
And now, and that's on the individual level. As far as the organization goes, are we thinking about like donating or?
we donated to their fundraiser.
Okay.
This is not a donation to them.
Okay.
This is actually, they just have like an Amazon wish list that they put together, and so we can cover I don't yet know what the need is, and I also don't know what the support is. I wish I had more information, but it came in this morning, so.
That, it happens like that. Any other community partner news?
This is more like an announcement from Barclay, so. Okay, cool. Yeah, we're having an event this Saturday at the Green Mountain Rec Center, so it's just a couple blocks south of y'all, like the Green Mountain 24th-ish. And it's gonna be 2 to 6 p.m. We have like a marketplace with local crafts, and I'm selling some honey. And then we have like a lot going on, honestly, too much. There's bingo, karaoke, a raffle, potluck food. I don't know how we're gonna do it all in the space of this gym, but it's gonna be wild. If you're Barclay curious and want a flyer, please,
very
yes, hit me up. I don't have too many, but I figure like, who else wants? Who else wants?
Yeah, you can also do like a take one pass it type deal. I don't
There's
know.
not enough for everyone, so it's a hot commodity.
Hot commodity. Okay, cool.
Maybe we can pass one around, we can take photos of it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you can make a copy. Okay, so we can pass around the amount we have and then, yeah.
Alright, anybody else as far as community association?
The only other thing I will add is we do have a WhatsApp. If you have not joined the WhatsApp, you can connect to WhatsApp through our website, or you can just come to me afterwards and I can put the QR code up on my phone and you can join that way. But it's lively. People talk and people communicate. People mobilize. Very worthwhile.
Good deal. Alright, any comments, concerns, or questions? You are on the next. Yeah. Comments, concerns, or questions? No? From the, alright. Mrs. Randers.
And also, as a note about time, also, we need an agenda requests and evaluation segment after
Yes,
that, and we
yes.
do
I'm only gonna take 3 minutes.
Okay.
It takes out as a
I'm
timer.
gonna do that.
Hi, everybody, I'm Councilwoman Ramos. I will be your new councilwoman when redistricting kicks in, which is, the map is approved, but all the districts don't change until December of next year, but I'll be running and knocking doors in the new part of my district, which is what you are. So I have been coming to the meetings because I do have East Harwood already, and I'm happy to have both sides of Green Mountain now, which is great. And the good part about it also is that I bought my first house on the 2500 block of Guilford, so I'm going to be able to represent that block. It's pretty amazing. This was a long time ago. So just a couple of updates relative to redistricting, or the new district that you are now being a part of, starting next year in the 14th district. We have, I do twice a year a President's Roundtable, and then also, and I'll be, inviting the leadership there, and then also we have, my district goes from Hamden all the way to Clifton Park. So you are now part of or you will be, or you can be now if you want. This district that is pretty amazing, especially during the holidays. So 34th Street is in the 14th district. So you can be proud that you're part of, so the Mayor's Christmas Parade. So anyway, there's a lot of great things going on. So I have a newsletter that comes out on Mondays. It's an email newsletter. So I'd love for folks to start to subscribe just to get those updates about what's happening in the district and also the city. My last quick update is my background, if you don't know already, is in housing and community development. So I've been doing a lot of my work as a council person in addressing vacant abandoned properties. I'm looking forward to doing the inventory in Harwood, although there aren't as many as when I ran in the 12th district. This was about 14 years ago, and I knocked on doors here. So I think that's a good thing. There's a lot of good things happening. We just passed my inclusionary housing bill this evening. So that's great. That's a big first step in making sure we've got affordable housing in Baltimore City, but also knocking down the racist housing policies that still plague us today. So super great. The tax credit associated with it will pass on Thursday. So anyway, just my email is odette.ramos@baltimorecity.gov. That is the best way to get a hold of me or my office. You can also call our office. I also have cards that also have my cell phone on it, so I'm happy to give you those as well. So Councilman Stokes and I will be, tag teaming basically for this year so that I can learn more about what's going on in Harwood and be ready to roll in literally a year from now when.
Oh, that's okay. I didn't think he could tell you, but
All right. Keeping it
Anyway, so thank you very much, and
moving through that shade.
Yeah.
We are gonna go
I'll take it,
to the
it.
next thing, which is audience announcements. Does anybody have any announcements for us besides that? That was amazing. All right.
I got like a minute left on my laptop.
Yes.
okay. Sorry.
Actually, you don't know, I'll just do it later.
Yes.
My name is Robin Buck, and I spoke with Mike earlier today, and I don't live in the neighborhood, but I would really like to. I'd actually looked at a house to rent in the 300 block of Wetridge, but that silly landlord chose somebody else apparently, either that or she just lost her ability to communicate because she's gone silent. But I thought I would come tonight, and I want to be on the board, you know?
Oh,
I want to be part of this community. I really love the vibe here and the diversity of, colors and interests and ages and everything. It just seems like it would be a really good place for me to call home. And I've only been in Baltimore a little over a year, and I'm really kind of shopping for a neighborhood that felt right for me, and I'm hoping this is the one. So if you hear of any houses for rent, or you'd like my contact information, I'm like just so burned out.
Chester's about to go up for rent.
Ah.
If you want to be our next door neighbor.
Yeah, that sounds nice.
Yeah, if you want to scan the numbers to fit that link.
Yeah, we do have a few minutes afterwards for people to connect, right?
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you for coming. Yeah.
Which neighborhood do you live in now?
I'm in Washington, which is lovely, but I'm finding a lot of my life is happening around Charles Village and down in this area. And I want to be in a quiet neighborhood, a friendly neighborhood, a diverse neighborhood, and an affordable neighborhood.
Yeah.
And I think this kind of checks the boxes. And I garden. I love to garden.
Yes.
And I visited the community garden.
We have two actually,
Me too.
because there's another one on the other side of the street.
Yes.
So,
So,
Is that the one here? There's another one? That's not
There's a one 27th and Boone.
on the other side of the street.
yeah,
Oh,
we're,
okay.
we're,
Yeah,
it's,
yeah.
It's more guerrilla garden.
yeah. It's good though.
Soon to be official.
Amazing daikon radishes, by the way. Those were wonderful. Okay, and then do we have any agenda requests for the next meeting? President, that is already on there. Do not worry. Yes.
Sorry, I'm new. The flyers are really helping, but what's the pattern for this meeting? Is it first Monday?
First Monday.
Usually
But
first Monday, but
next-
it won't be ending.
Right, so next month is first Monday is New Year's
Yeah,
Day,
we
right?
do the week after.
The week after.
Second Monday in January and first Monday, they're more or less first Monday every other.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's
Put it
not
on my
the first,
calendar.
it's the second Monday.
Okay.
And we also take a break in July and August.
Also, we do send out a MailChimp with flyer.
Yeah.
Okay, now that y'all have my email, I'll be okay.
Yeah,
And it's
you'll be
always
okay.
here, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Always
Vast
there.
majority of the time.
It's always gonna be the first Monday unless there's a holiday on that Monday, and then
Yeah.
it'll be the second Monday.
But if
We
you
don't-
have a meeting here the first Monday of January, then it could be my birthday party.
Well, let's do it. All right, and then, pending any other,
Just a person, I don't know if this is really an agenda item, but inviting like Baltimore Renters United to come talk to, about like options and like renters' rights and stuff like that. Might be
yeah,
cool.
yeah. I mean, I see a lot of like new faces in the crowd that might be beneficial for new faces to vote. Okay, and then we have also our evaluation, which you have written. If anybody wants to speak at me and tell me how bad or good, I will accept compliments, I'm doing, that is also welcome. Also, any of the preceding MailChimp, WhatsApp, agenda, distribution, flyers, before the meeting type deal, that will also be always accepted.
Yeah, one rationale for the evaluation is also that during the meeting with the content of the items, we're talking about the content of that, but how did it flow, or what the structure of it is like, is the kind of thing that we're really interested in for evaluation. So yeah, how did the meeting go for you in terms of the way it was organized and how it went?
And hopefully y'all didn't fall asleep. I hope I was charismatic enough to at least carry it through. There's also more food.
Also, all new board members should write down your contact information. I don't have anything for you to do that, but I think guys should.
So you can hand those to the facilitator.
It's me, guys. And it's me.
You're welcome.
Thank you. 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 I'm sorry I forgot your name.
You can put it on that chair.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Harwood, you know, brings in.
You're gonna get along.
I know, right, like, Barclay.
Did the meeting just end? Okay, that was the end? Alright, keep it, okay. Big clap.
What's that?
Oh, I do. Alright, hold up the jazz. Let that jazz out here.
It's okay.